Welcome back to our discussion about depression. Today we're going to explore common strategies to help manage depression more effectively. If you're interested in this content, stay tuned. And if you're ready, let's get into it. Welcome back to Choosing to Live Now. My name is Taneshia, and we're going to be exploring, as you heard, our discussion about depression. Okay, so quick recap. So far we have explored what depression is. We've explored the idea that there are genetic predispositions to depression that could cause us to be vulnerable to depression. We have learned that life and environmental circumstances can cause depression. We also have learned the fact that depression looks very different for individuals depending on their cultural framework. Yes, we heard all of these things, and we are aware that we can have mild versions of depression, we can have moderate versions of depression, and it can be extreme. But here's a little secret, friends. You ready for it? I know. Here we go. It is very difficult to properly know or determine an individual's level of depression without professional help. Friends and family. Did you hear that? Can I say that again? Okay, I will. It is very difficult to know how deep an individual's level of depression if they're not properly seen by a professional. Yeah, I know. Listen, friends and family, I am all about self-help and wellness. But listen, I am a training psychologist, general psychologist, and I am also a certified school psychologist. I have a lot of training. I've been trained in therapy. I've worked with clients and all of the things. But friends, I don't want to be irresponsible with you. Depression is challenging. Not only is it challenging to diagnose, it is also challenging to know how seriously depression is taking over someone's life if a professional does not see them. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason why this is the case is because depression is not in a vacuum. Remember I told you that on our last conversation? Oh yeah. So what I'm saying to you is that because depression is so dynamic as it relates to how it manifests and how long it is being manifested in a person's life, it is difficult for me to give you some sort of prescriptive way of knowing that you have depression and how serious it is for you. Only you will know how long that your life has been altered or changed because of depression. And because you may not even know how depression has manifested in your life over a period of time, you may not know that you are much deeper into depression than you think. You might say to me, oh, it's moderate, but people in your life may actually say, no, actually, it has been 2 or 3 years and it is severe in that the things that my family member once did or once had pleasure with, they don't have pleasure anymore. And we've noticed a decline in their overall productivity in their life, and they're tired and they're lethargic. You get the point? So what I am saying to you, if you think that you are dealing with depression, my first strategy of the day is to ask that you go and see someone, even if it's just your primary care physician, because they can do a brief assessment, and many hospitals and doctors' offices and services partner with psychiatrists and psychologists who could maybe do a brief screener to let you know what's going on for you and set you up with some treatment. My first strategy for you, friends and family, is get you some help. Huh? I know. See, I know it when you guys love that I give you all these strategies because you can do self-therapy. But friends and family, the reason why I'm more concerned about there being self-therapy as it pertains to depression right now is this. We have dealt with 2 unprecedented years of loss, of grief, and I want to be very, very honest with you. Many of us, most of us, are still living in survival mode. And the reason why we're still in survival mode is because the pandemic is not over. I know you've heard on the news that we are in an endemic. Yup. I know you've heard on the news that things are moving along and are better and they're not stuck in this one space and we're moving to this new epoch. But until things look somewhat like they used to look, we have to look at the reality that our lives have changed. The way that we do things are changing, right? And as a result of that, we are not at a space, many of us, to be safe enough to really let down our hair, if you will, to know how severe depression has impacted our life. What might be keeping us alive and moving forward right now is the fact that we have responsibilities. We have people who expect us to show up and to be on. And you know what we call that? Honey, that's a protective factor. Oh man. Can I say that again for our friends on the side? Friends on the side. Did y'all know that when you have things in life that you're responsible for, they are considered protective factors in your life that keep you from falling into deeper levels of pathology or sickness, however you want to say it. And so for many of us, the need to survive long enough to take care of somebody is the reason why we are able to still make it. My friends and my family. Oh, I'm having a moment right now because it's real. Some of us are not even feeling the gravity of what has happened for us. And those of us who have been deeply embedded in depression or have actually been able to recognize that we have actually experienced it or are experiencing it are either in one of a couple categories. One, we are the individuals who are genetically predisposed. We could be the individuals who have had multiple traumas back to back, and it seems so overwhelming that your life and your circumstances seem hopeless. Oh yes, my brother and my sister. Or we're the individuals who are very self-aware, and we know that we're not exactly where we need to be. We can feel that we're off, we're not exactly where we should be. And can I help you a little bit further? There are a lot of treatments for depression, but when you have high levels of depression, and remember we talked about it, I gave you 8 symptomology of depression, okay? Of the 8 symptomologies, to have major depression, you need 5 of them. And those five symptomologies would have had to have lasted at least 2 weeks or more. Yeah, that's according to the DSM-5. So if you're at that major depressive level because of the chemical imbalance to the brain, psychiatrists and psychologists recommend medication. Yeah, you heard it correctly. Medication. And you might be like, well, why would they give me medication for depression? Because sometimes people are so low and so despondent, and all they can think about is death, that they cannot think about anything other than where their mind is focused on. And so medication at times will help to refresh a person's brain so that they can think clearly and help them to control their emotions long enough that they can sit through therapy to get the support that they need. Are you taking that in? Friends and family, how you feeling about it? I know. So I want to say to you today, I wanted to first normalize with you that depression is normal. We all go through ebbs and flows of mild depression when life shows us unexpected circumstances. But my brother and my sister, the days that we're living in with these uncertainties and the level of suicide attempts that are happening in our world indicates that many of us are much more severe than we realize. And if after watching the first two videos and even watching today, if you feel like you're struggling with depression and you cannot make it, I encourage you, I plead with you, please get the help that you need. Find support wherever you can find it, as it pertains to a medical professional who is able to help you through the journey. Because it is better to be proactive instead of reactive. Depression is similar to anxiety in the sense that there are these reoccurring thoughts that people tend to have over and over again that trap them in this space where they feel like they can't move forward. The difference is the excessive worry sometimes and anxiety is what causes people to avoid things that make them feel uncomfortable. But this excessive worry and concern or these repetitive thoughts and depression oftentimes make people feel trapped and hopeless, unforgiving of themselves, unable to see life through a different lens, unable to be positive, constantly thinking negative. And when you do that over and over again on a major, if you're in a major level of distress, you don't have the strength to fight it. That's the reason why you'll notice, in the DSM-5, when I read pieces about depression to you yesterday, it really says to you things like people are constantly sleeping. They're just exhausted, can't get up, or they can't sleep at night because there is no rest within them. They feel hopeless and distressed, and they don't know what to do. Yeah. So my first strategy for you, my brother and my sister, is to get help. If you know that you are truly suffering with depression, every treatment is not medicine. So if you're more homeopathic, my recommendation to you is to still go get formalized help, because they can give you some support and strategies within a therapeutic setting that could help you personally get out of these deeper levels of depression that you're in. If you're in a more milder depression that is similar to the ebbs and flows that I talked about yesterday at the end of our discussion that I had gone through, being a doctoral student, being a mother, being a wife, being a business owner. At points of my educational journey, I have worked full-time jobs and done all kind of things at the same time, and I felt overwhelmed because of everything that was on my plate. But I ebbed and I flowed throughout it, so it never was able to take me over because of my core fundamental values of truth and how heavily I used the strategies from my faith to help me to come out of some negative spaces. So if you are similar to me, where you have had and periodically have bouts of, mild depression, where you just feeling a little low and down and slightly hopeless, and you have a couple of the symptomologies from the depression list. But if you're in that mild space, here's what some suggestions I have for you. Because I believe that depression is heavily rooted in us having cognitive distortions. maladaptive or inappropriate thinking. One way to help you to get out of that is to journal. Yep, journaling. And you've heard me talk about that if you've been with me for a couple of weeks. Journaling is one of my favorite things to do because I'm able to get out my thoughts and my feelings on paper. And sometimes after I'm able to get them out, I'm able to really rationalize better because I'm not holding all of these thoughts and these emotions inside. You have to find ways to get these emotions, these thoughts outside of yourself in a healthy way so that you can properly process what you're going through, the trauma, the distress, the concern around you in a healthy way. So journaling is a way that I have worked to get through mild bouts of depression. Something else that I have done that has assisted me in clearing my mind, and someone actually put it into the comments on our very first video, and I loved the suggestion, and that was listening to music. Not just any music, not depressing music, but music that uplifted me to believe that I could get past the moment I was in. Yep. That helped to clear my mind and ease the moment. Another suggestion that I would give you would be get around people who are positive, that you can talk to, that are safe spaces that can help you process your emotions. And oh my goodness, if you have someone in your life that does mental health work, who can help you, even if they're not formally giving you therapy and they're a friend, a family member, if they are a colleague that you are close with, that you trust, you can sometimes just have that moment to share what you're going through internally. And they can help you rethink it, reprogram or reprocess your thought process surrounding what you're going through that makes you feel trapped. I know, it seems very basic, but as I've said to you over and over and over again, friends, we all need somebody. We cannot live in this world alone. And where there is no family member, where there is no friend, where there is no support in that way in your life, look for local support groups in your area. If you are on social media, which you would have to be to some extent because you're talking or looking and listening to me right now, definitely look into groups that exist. Facebook, for example, has different groups to help people manage depression, where there are members in the group who are talking about their journey and helping one another to stay encouraged. These groups exist everywhere. You can even Google depression groups and type in your zip code and you can find them. Some of them are free of charge. Many of them are. Why? Because so many people right now need that level of support. So being with someone else, getting them to provide you with support is everything. Another strategy that I would give to you would be prayer. Now I know what my core fundamental values of truth are, and I know that they are rooted in faith. Whatever your faith is, consider using prayer and or meditation as a way to support you. One of the things that meditation, specifically mindfulness, does is it helps you to be able to get rid of all of the things in your thought process in the moment that are causing you distress by focusing on what you can control and helping you to release those things that are toxic and that are not important to the moment that you're in. And in many ways, prayer does the same thing. And if you have no idea about prayer, if you don't know what prayer is, if you don't understand meditation, if you don't know mindfulness, what I encourage you to do is to look it up. You can actually Google prayers. You can actually Facebook and type in the word prayers, and you will find hundreds of thousands of people all over the internet who are having prayer meetings, prayer conversations, meditation, mindfulness moments. There are apps like the Calm app, where you can go on and they will give you guided meditation. There are guided meditations on YouTube for free. There are outlets out there to help you to change the way you're thinking. Yep. Another strategy that I would give you is to write down your thoughts. I know I talked about journaling, but specifically writing down thoughts as they come so that you can have a journal of what you're thinking, how often you're thinking, and you might want to time, every couple of hours, or what am I thinking for one day? Every hour, what are my thoughts this hour? What was I thinking about in this hour? And that way you're able to look at those thoughts and to see the things that are repetitive and consistent in your thought processes. That will help you to identify, how severe your scenario is if you're squeamish about going to a doctor. And if you're noticing that you're seeing constant patterns in your thoughts that you've written down over a period of time, over and over again, being negative and they're hopeless, that gives you the indication that you need more support than just yourself. Yep. Yeah. Something else that is known, that has been proven in research to help with depression is exercise. Because exercise releases positive endorphins in the brain, and it helps to clear your thoughts and your mind. So even if you can't do heavy levels of exercise because maybe you have an injury, maybe walk around your house, maybe walk slowly around the neighborhood. Yeah. Find ways to move. If you love music, maybe dance, maybe march in place. If you have some level of paralysis, find the parts of yourself that can move and maybe put on some positive music and get your blood pumping a little bit if you are able. Those things will help to alleviate pressure, stress that causes depression. Yeah. Yep. And lastly, my last strategy is the same strategy as the first strategy. Friend, if you are in distress, get help outside of yourself. You do not have to face depression alone. Please. Listen, I am here for you. This is a safe space. This is a safe space. We are a community, and we're going to get through these difficult times together. I want you to know that you're not alone. All of us have experienced depression at some time in our life, and we may experience it again. But what I want most for you, my friend and my family, my brother and my sister, is that you be well. Get the help that you need. Don't wait until you're so overwhelmed you feel like you can't make it anymore and you're considering taking your life. Your life has value. If you have no one else in your life to tell you that, listen to me when I'm speaking to you now. Your life has value. I don't care what you've gone through. I don't care what's happened to you. I believe in you. Your story is worth hearing. Your talents are worth the world seeing. You are amazing, even if you don't feel like you're amazing in this moment. Look at me, my friend, my brother, my sister. I mean it from my heart. You are amazing. I know that this is a difficult time, but you're not going to fail if you promise yourself not to give up. Don't give up. Do it for yourself. And if you don't find reason to do it for yourself, do it for me. I need you. Your family needs you. And if you say, Taneshia, I don't have family, I get it. I have a huge family, and in many ways I feel like at times I don't have one either, as it relates to my extended family. But I say this to you, the world has yet to experience the splendor and the majesty of who you are. And we, as a community, need you to survive. Yeah. Listen, I want to thank you so much for logging into this video today, logging into this space, this discussion. And I want to say to you, I'm with you. My heart is with you. My prayers are with you. We're going to get through this together. Listen, if you like the content on this channel, if it is helping you, if you know someone that it is helping, please share the content, comment, like, listen, be active in the comment section, share your strategies, share your tips, encourage someone. We are a community. And listen, don't forget to subscribe. Please remember to turn on your notification bell so you'll know when we're going to be posting. And know that I'm with you, friend. Until next time, blessings to you today, my friend.
Just in case you weren't sure.